Hey, Tytus. Hey, talk to us a little bit, man, about how comfortable you are out there on that edge, man, out there at right tackle. I know you've been a good soldier, man. You've done what everybody's asked you to do, and much respect and admiration for that, man. But I know you're comfortable out there at that right tackle spot. You're having you a solid year, man. How does it feel to be out there and be getting it done?
I feel good. I'm back playing where I naturally play, so it gives me a chance to play more comfortably with a clear mind and knowing that I can go out there and compete with anybody who I'm facing against. So it feels good to be able to be in that position.
Tell us about your teammates. Obviously, y'all have remade the line to a large degree. You're pretty much the one guy that was there last year in that position. Just talk about kind of down the line what you're seeing from new additions like obviously Ed Ingram, Andrews at center. Of course, Juice has kind of stepped up into that role at left guard, and you got the rookie Ariante Ursery at left tackle. What are you seeing from your teammates along that line?
Man, I'm just seeing a group that's dedicated to getting better each week. As far as Ariante, I feel like each week he has gotten better as a player. So he's owning in on all the things he needs to work on. He's putting in the extra work every week to get better, and it's paying off for him. He's a smart kid, and sky's the limit for him. Juice has stepped in and done a good job for us. I've always been a big fan of Juice since he came in because he was able to play center and he could play guard. So his versatility is helping us out a lot. We're coming in, stepping up for Jake. Jake's a great guy. He's from Bama. He grew up like an hour away from me, so I've kind of known him because he went to Troy, which is close to Alabama State in college. And Jake's always been a smart, good football player. He's doing a good job with getting us to the right mic points and helping us be able to play faster. Because, that's one of the things about O-line, being able to play fast and knowing where you go is probably most of the biggest part, because a lot of guys can block, but if you don't know who you're going to, it makes you play slower and that can fuck you up a lot, so that can mess you up and stuff like that. But, I love playing against Ed, playing beside Ed Ingram. Ed's one of the best guards I've played beside. He's helped me a lot with my game, and, I helped him a lot. And we're just building that camaraderie every day. And, it's just been a joy to play beside him because he's having one of the best seasons of his career. And so am I. So it just, we just got to keep the ball rolling and keep building that camaraderie every week to solidify that right side.
Hey, Tytus, one of the things that before we get to the matchup this week, which is a big matchup, but one of the things that I've seen watching your film, y'all's film, in O-line plays, it seems like the last 2 weeks, it seems like there's been more of an emphasis on staying on your double teams, getting movement before going to the second level. It seems like there's been more emphasis put on driving your feet, and it's particularly in Dalton Schultz. And Dalton Schultz has put that on tape the last 2 weeks in a way that I don't remember. But the O-line overall, man, it just seems like y'all are getting a lot more. It would say that's accurate, and if so, what's that from?
Yeah, that's just a mentality that we've been establishing and start with our coach, man. Our line coach, Coach Pop, has been telling us, we just got to take care of the down guys first. If we take care of those guys, everything else will settle into play how it's supposed to go. But early on we were just rushing too long to get off to backers and stuff like that, and we would mess up blocks. But the longer we stay on the doubles, it was better for us. So we've seen the success that it's happened for us, and we just got to continue to do that.
Give us some insight into this matchup. Obviously, Seattle has, I think, formidable front is probably an understatement. They've been really, really good. Obviously, y'all have a big challenge ahead of you. Give us an idea for some of the coaching points and some of the emphasis for y'all going up against this Seattle front.
Yeah, we're going up against a front that's hungry, man. They've been playing some good football. They play really good together. It's not just one guy just making all the plays. Those guys over there, they play good, working together. There's a front that use stunts and games more than any other team in the NFL. So that's a big challenge for us because that's something we struggled with in the past, but that's something we also have got better with each week. They got a lot of talented guys over there. They got Zero, DeMarcus Lawrence. They got 99, 91. You got Byron Murphy. All those guys. You got 7, 58, 50. They got a lot of guys that they can rotate in. They can play a lot of good football. But I feel like if we do what we're supposed to do up front, and not try to do too much, we should be able to handle them.
Tytus, you touched on something right there that I think, from a fan's perspective, you probably ran a couple of them off in the ditch, right? I mean, as fans, we watch and we're pulling like hell for you guys. And one thing that has seemed to kind of jump off the TV the last couple of years is there's been times when the protection issues had a lot to do with those games that were being played up front. The O-line was struggling picking up that tackle DN, the TE stunts and things of that nature. So when you say, oh, these guys are as good as anybody and they do it as much as anybody, you know, what, from an offensive lineman's perspective, like what goes into, why was it such a struggle before, and what goes into getting that right? Because obviously I think y'all have been significantly better this year, but what, kind of talk us through that, why was it a struggle and getting it right?
I think the number one thing is with stunts and games is, as a player, from my perspective, is, you know, knowing the down and distance for one, and knowing the situation. If you watch film and you know the situation, and you get a tell of when they want to do stuff. So the first thing would be recognition, recognizing that, all right, when I get in second and long, gotta get back on track. That this team likes to run games in this moment. So I got to recognize and be on the lookout for that too. And another thing is we just got to learn to play together. So, like, in the past, it was a whole bunch of, one-on-one blocks, and that doesn't work as an offensive lineman. Everybody got to be able to work together. And I think as a group, our coach has practiced that with us every single day of practice, working together, being on the same point. And when you're on the same level and can play together, it's easier to pick up.
Tytus, let me ask you about the offense overall. It seems like y'all have been able to find something over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, I think the results speak for themselves there. What can you say about you guys as an offense overall that y'all have been able to find, and especially coming off of this bye week, something that y'all are able to sort of cling to it, whether that's y'all's identity, something that y'all do well, or just something that has really worked for y'all over these last couple of weeks?
Well, I think the thing that works for us the best is that when we're able to start and we are able to start fast and have a good run game early in the game, everything else opens up. If we're able to open up the lanes for running backs and get those guys going early, it makes everything easier for CJ as the game go on. So these past couple weeks we've been running the ball really good, and the play action is working a lot for us, and it makes it easier to pass protect when we got a shorter distance to go on third down.
Hey, a lot has been made, man, about the O-line room, and rightfully so. I love talking O-line. I'm no quarterback, Tytus, so I love talking O-line play. It's important to me, man. But a lot has been made about the overhaul of the offensive line, and I think a big question coming into this year was, hey, man, there's a void in leadership. Who's going to be that guy? Who's going to step up? What's that going to look like? And it sounds like when D'Amico's talking, and it sounds like when people aren't necessarily specifically asked about it, it seems like your name comes up. Can you speak to just a little bit about, hey, man, there's an opportunity, that a leadership role that you embrace, that you want to go get and that you value? How did that happen, and what does that look like?
Yeah, it's definitely something I value. I've always been a guy, growing up, high school, college, all that, was been the leader of my group. And when the opportunity presented itself this year for me, I took it and ran with it. I take value in, talking and getting guys going and showing them the right way to do things. And so my job every day is to make sure I hold my group accountable, whether it's good and bad, just keep them steady and float so we can just get better as a group. And I've kind of, just embraced that and trying to rub it off on the whole offense.
Okay, Tytus, you mentioned accountability, man. Speaking of accountability, I got to hold you accountable for holding Nick Chubb accountable, man. I saw something come across my timeline where you caught Nick Chubb slipping, man. You caught him lacking a little bit, had to ask your knees, you had to call him out for it. I don't know if that's leadership. Nick Chubb obviously is a known commodity in the NFL. I don't think he needs too much leadership, but it seemed like maybe he needed it in that moment. And so my question to you is, who is the ashiest member of the Houston Texans? Is it Nick Chubb? Is it somebody else? Is that the worst that you've seen? Like, how bad is it? And do we need to figure out some kind of moisturizing situation for this team?
I'm not gonna. It's by far one of the worst I've seen. And I had to let him know that. I told him by me posting that he might get a sponsorship deal from a company where he gets some low us some coach. But nah, man, I always like making fun with Nick Chubb because he's a really good dude, and I've kind of built a good relationship with him since he's been here. You know, I always tell him whenever he get that ball, look over to my side. You know, I'm gonna open the lane up for you. So you know, he's a good dude though, man. I like joking with him.
Hey, Tytus business-minded, too. You saw that, man. You might get you a sponsorship, too, man. That's real leadership. I see you, man.
Hey, Tytus, the only two places you can get away with that, right in the locker room and at home. Boy, anywhere else, man, it's going to be frowned upon. So that is good. That is good. That was money when B. Scott showed that to me. Hey, man. Hey, Tytus, look, man, I know you're busy. I know it's a big game, man. First of all, man, congrats on playing out there at that right tackle spot, doing well. I know the work is not done, man, but I like seeing you out there, bro. And we greatly appreciate you giving us 15, 20 minutes of your time on such an important day. And, hey, you're always welcome on the drive on Sports Radio 610, man.
Yeah, man.
We'd love to make a big man minute out of it now. So
yes, sir, I appreciate you.
Good luck, brother.
Thank y'all.
All right, man. That's Tytus Howard, Texans right tackle. I tell you, man, I love that he's played well, obviously, at right tackle. It's good to see. The most impressive thing to me about Tytus Howard and kind of what, because you can hear it when he answered the question about leadership too. There's no kind of soft shoeing it or being uncomfortable with it, or I mean, it's clear. Now I'm going to hold my group accountable, and I embrace and value that leadership role. And there needed to be a leader in that room step up. There needed to be somebody hold people accountable. There needed to be somebody that when a guy, you have the ability. Somebody's got to look at somebody, right? And for it to be Tytus Howard, who's one of the guys that's a little longer in the tooth, especially now knowing Lakin Tomlinson's not going to be a starter. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing here with Tytus Howard that's happened this year, beyond just playing good right tackle, is, boy, he seems to be the guy that stepped up.
I mean, Clean's been there since 2019. I mean, look, we remember when he got here, but all of a sudden now that's been a while ago, and he's also somebody, as you talked about, you asked him about this, has been somebody that they've asked a lot of, moving around different spots, been a soldier, done pretty much everything that they asked him to do, and he's still kind of the last man standing, if you will. Has survived several regimes, and so it seemed like a natural progression in his role for him to be that leader. I'm just glad to see that he was willing to step up and take that on, right? Like he did not shy away from that moment, because it did seem like just a natural step for him to be that guy.